Greetings. My name is Rene Zuniga and I'm an instructor at South Texas College. This tutorial is designed to provide you, as the title indicates, with the essentials of Excel 2010. This tutorial is broken down in 4 lessons, and each lesson is designed to introduce you to a topic that is very useful when you work with Excel 2010. I hope you learn the important tasks that are relevant to your work. Enjoy it. Lesson 1. The objectives of Lesson 1 are as follows. To be able to enter data, which can be classified as text, dates, numbers, or just labels or values. You should be also able to edit cell contents, clear cell contents, cut, copy, paste, and move selected cells. Entering data in a spreadsheet is easy. First, you must be able to define the type of data that you're entering. In Excel, data is referred to as either labels or values. Data is entered into each cell, which is the intersection of a column and a row, individually. To enter data into a specific cell, you must first select the cell you want to enter the data into. Then you type the label or value into the cell. Whatever you're typing will also appear in the formula bar at the top of the screen. When you're done entering into the cell, you need to press either the Enter key, the Tab, click on another cell, or press one of the arrow keys. The most common way to enter data into Excel is to type the data and then press the Enter key. Entering data into a cell and then pressing the Enter key enters the data into the cell and then moves the cell cursor to the next cell in the column. This default can be changed. In Excel, data is either labels or values. Labels are an important part of any spreadsheet. Meaningful labels help the user understand the purpose of the displayed data. Any combination of letters, numbers, and other characters may be used in labels. For example, here the words data in Excel enter in A1 is considered a label. It has no numeric value. Values. Any other data, numbers, dates, fractions, times, are considered values. However, a value can also be used as a label. If a value is to be used as a label, you must precede that value with an apostrophe. The most common type of a value is, of course, a number. You need to be very careful when you enter any other types of values, such as date, time, and fractions. Date and time in Excel are represented as values. Excel represents dates starting from January 1st, 1900. So if you enter January 1st, 1900 into a cell, that's the equivalent of the number 1. If you enter January 2nd, 1900, then that would be stored as a number 2 in a cell. Anytime a date is entered, Excel converts the entry to a date and applies a date format. Nonetheless, the actual data for the date is a value. Remember, dates are values. For example, the date 10/14/2012 shown on this screen is stored as the value 41,196. 41,196 is equivalent to October 14, 2012. This means that dates may be used for calculations in Excel. Time. A value entered as 8:15 a.m. is automatically formatted as a time. In Excel, time is represented as a fraction of a day. Midnight is equivalent to 0. Therefore, 8:15 that is seen on this page is automatically formatted as a time. The number equivalent to 8:15 is 0.34375. Again, this representation of time allows Excel to be able to perform calculations on time. You need to be more careful when you work with fractions. When data is entered as a fraction, it is displayed in that form. However, the value stored in the cell has been converted to decimal form, and that is what the formula bar will display. For example, again on this spreadsheet, entering 8.5 in a cell displays 8.5 in the cell and 8.5 in the formula bar. If you're entering just a fraction such as 3/4 or 3/4, the value must be preceded by a 0. Otherwise, it will be considered as a date. Here's an example. Again, if you want to enter the fraction 3/4, you must type 0 space 3/4. 0 space 3/4. Otherwise, it'll be considered as a date March 4, 2012. The easiest way to edit what you enter in Excel is to type it over. However, if you want to do minor edits or corrections, pressing the function key 2 or F2 will allow you to go directly to the formula bar and to edit the cell or the contents of the cell. If you want to clear the contents of a cell, then the easiest way is to right click on the cell. For example, right here I would click on right. If I want to change or delete numbers 1, 2 and 3, I will right click on B1 and this menu will come up on the right hand side, and then I'll select clear contents. Now another very easy way is just to go to the cell B1 and press delete. Using the right click on top of a cell is the most efficient method of cutting, copying, and removing a cell. For example, if you want to use the data in another cell, spreadsheet or workbook, right click on the cell that you want to copy and select copy. When you copy the contents of a cell, it is stored in the computer memory and that contents can be used anywhere else. Cutting is very similar to copying. Right click on the cell and select cut. The cell begins to blink. Then you select the cell worksheet or workbook, right click and select paste. The contents of the cell is moved, as opposed to copy, is moved to the desired place. Another effective method of moving the cell contents is to click on the desired cell, point to the border of the cell until the cursor changes to 4 arrows, and then move the mouse to the new position. Now if you want to copy the contents of the cell by using this method, then you must press Ctrl while clicking on the border of the cell, and when the cursor changes to the 4 arrows, then move the mouse to the new position. The contents of the original cell should be copied to the new cell. Here's an example. These are the examples. I move A1 to B3, and then I copy A1 to B3. These very popular commands have shortcuts. For example, if you want to copy, you can just also use the keyboard and press Ctrl+C. If you want to cut, you can press Ctrl and X. If you want to paste, the shortcut is Ctrl+V. If you forget what the shortcuts are, then just point to the icon, to the respective icon. For example, if I point to the scissors here, it will show me the shortcut, which will be Ctrl+X. I hope that you have learned the essentials of entering and understanding data in Excel. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. The next lesson, we're going to talk about how we can change the way the data looks, or formatting the data. Remember, any data that is entered in Excel can also be made to look more professional and appropriate to its purpose. Looking forward for lesson 2.